Liverpool rocked by shock twists on and off the pitch. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for instant Reds updates, exclusives and breaking alerts. Alexis Mac Allister's dad sends forward message to Liverpool amid Man Utd transfer links. Alexis Mac Allister is on the radar of bitter rivals Manchester United, and the Liverpool star's father has addressed the possibility of a blockbuster transfer. Alexis Mac Allister's father has responded to the Liverpool star possibly joining rivals Manchester United. The 27-year-old is under contract at Anfield until 2028. Having arrived from Brighton for £55 million in 2023, the versatile Mac Allister played a pivotal role in the Reds' Premier League title triumph last term under Arne Slot. This season has been lacklustre by those standards, but he has had to take up a deeper role with Florian Wirtz introduced to the starting 11. Liverpool's rivals United have long been on a reported search for a new superstar midfielder, and Mirror Football exclusively revealed this week that Mac Allister is on their agenda. United are keeping tabs on the Argentine and may attempt to lure him to Old Trafford come the end of this season. However, the player's father has now been asked about the possibility of a groundbreaking switch from Merseyside to Manchester, and he made it very clear where Mac Allister stands. The 27-year-old's father, Carlos, was questioned by Win about the potential United transfer and admitted his son is only thinking about Liverpool at the moment. Carlos added, "We are waiting for an offer to renew his contract. We will see what the club's plan is." He was also asked if Mac Allister could leave should negotiations stall, replying, "We'll wait and see what happens with the renewal, that's all." Mac Allister has not enjoyed the best of seasons with Liverpool. His side have failed to mount a bona fide title defence and currently sit outside the top four. Yet despite this slump, the Argentine made a stark admission earlier this month. He told the club's website, "We feel like we are in a good moment, in a much better moment than the beginning of the season. We are improving as a team, which is the most important thing." The manager had a really good meeting where he said that we needed to improve in both boxes. That's what we wanted, and I think we have showed it. We are more aggressive. That's what we want, and that's what we want to be consistent on. I think it's key. We have many players that are injured, so it's not that easy, but we are getting there. I think we are all happy. We are in a good moment, but we need to keep working and keep improving. Fabrizio Romano names 3 midfielders on Man Utd's shortlist. Alexis Mac Allister not on it. Fabrizio Romano has responded to rumours that Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to bring Alexis Mac Allister to Old Trafford from Liverpool in the summer of 2026. The Daily Mirror reported on February 16, 2026, that Man Utd are planning to raid Liverpool for Mac Allister. The Red Devils co-owner Ratcliffe is personally keen on a deal for the 27-year-old midfielder who won the 2024-25 Premier League title with Liverpool and the 2022 World Cup with Argentina. This comes after Team Talk's transfer insider, Dean Jones, revealed that Man Utd plan to spend £200 million on new players this summer if the club secure Champions League football for next season. Our transfer correspondent Fraser Fletcher has long reported Man Utd's desire to sign at least one top-class midfielder this summer. Elliot Anderson, Joao Gomez, Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba are among the names on Man Utd Director of Football Jason Wilcox's list. Sources have told us that Man Utd have also joined the race for Sandro Tonali, who could leave Newcastle United at the end of the season and is the subject of interest from Arsenal and Liverpool too. Transfer guru Fabrizio Romano has now backed our claim on Anderson, Baleba and Tonali, reporting that they are on Man Utd's shortlist. The Italian journalist, though, has poured cold water on suggestions that Man Utd have their eyes on Mac Allister too. Romano said on his YouTube channel, "To answer your questions, at the moment I am not aware of anything really concrete or really strong in terms of links between Man Utd and Mac Allister. Because I told you several times, Man Utd will be really busy with midfielders in the summer. I expect Man Utd to be really busy in that position. It could be one, it could be two. so it could be a really interesting point. Before Man Utd decide who are or who is the new midfielder they want to bring to the club, they need to clarify 2 points. The first one is Champions League football or not, and that's going to be important to understand the budget for a midfielder or midfielders. And the manager. We have to see what happens with Michael Carrick or another permanent manager. So, Man Ut will not decide in February about the midfielder. They have a shortlist with some names being considered, being monitored. Among those names, there are several options. I told you already, for example, that Elliot Anderson is really appreciated. I told you that Baleba was a top target with Amorim as a coach. Let's see what happens next now with Amorim no longer there. I told you also that Sandro Tonali is appreciated by Man Utd, Arsenal, Juventus in Italy. So there is going to be plenty of movements for these players. But before we know who is the player Man Utd want, we need to be patient. At the moment, with Alexis Mac Allister, there is nothing really advanced or concrete or started in terms of conversations. Latest Man Utd transfer news. Jurgen Klopp truth. Wingers Old Trafford admiration. Meanwhile, Man Utd's quest to sign a Bundesliga right-back has been backed by a second source. Sources have also told our transfer insider Graham Bailey whether Man Utd really wanted to appoint Jurgen Klopp as their manager when the German decided to leave Liverpool at the end of the 2024-25 campaign. And finally, a winger that Man Utd want to sign this summer has publicly said that Old Trafford is his favourite stadium. Alexis Mac Allister's warning from Star, who tried to cross Liverpool versus Man Utd divide Manchester United, are interested in signing Alexis Mac Allister, but one of his compatriots can offer some advice on crossing the divide between Liverpool and Old Trafford. Manchester United are targeting Liverpool's Alexis Mac Allister to become the first direct transfer between the clubs in more than 60 years. However, one of his Argentinian countrymen may be able to offer some useful advice on the idea. That's after Gabriel Heinze showed remorse over his conduct when he asked to leave Old Trafford for Anfield. The retired left-back was near the peak of his powers, but found himself jostling with Patrice Evra for the starting spot in Sir Alex Ferguson's side. As a result, Heinze demanded a move to bitter rivals Liverpool, who reportedly had an offer of £6.8 million rejected. The last player to move directly between the two nemeses was Phil Chisnell in 1964, and Ferguson was a particularly prominent proponent of the unwritten rule that the pair shouldn't conduct business. That likely went double in Heinze's case after the defender demanded such a move. Speaking on his situation at the time, however, he didn't give the impression he fully grasped the gravity of his actions. "My fight is for the freedom to negotiate with any club," Heinze told the Daily Mail in 2007. "United never wanted me to leave for one of the big clubs, but this anti-Liverpool clause is incredible." However, his stance clearly softened over the years, and the Argentinian even went on to admit he regretted his behaviour and how his Old Trafford exit came to pass. "I don't have many regrets from my career as a footballer, but that episode with Ferguson has to be one of them," he said some years later when expressing his remorse. "I'm impulsive and strong-willed, and this has got me into trouble at times, which was the case when I left United. I spent 3 years in Manchester and had some great moments, and I regret leaving the club a lot. There are a lot of things I regret from the last months, but I am a strong personality. Sir Alex is a strong personality. I took the decision, and looking back, I regret it because it meant leaving a great club and their supporters. I was aware of the rivalry with Liverpool. I knew the risk of going from Manchester to Liverpool and what it means. I hope it doesn't tarnish the way the supporters see me, and they will remember the 3 years I had in the team." In the end, Heinze joined Real Madrid for 8 tomatoes in the summer of 2007, spending 2 years in Spain before he moved to Marseille. The South American has moved into management himself and is currently a first-team coach under Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. If World Cup winner Mac Allister can glean any knowledge from Heinz's experience, it may be to not chase a move across the Manchester divide. However, that appears unlikely even amid Liverpool's dip in form this season. United may soon find themselves in the market for a marquee midfield signing if Bruno Fernandes leaves Old Trafford later this year. Mac Allister, who has thrived in a central role or in a more advanced number 10 position, could be the perfect fit from a tactical standpoint, though the logistics of sanctioning such a move could still be too great to overcome. Rating Man Utd's four-man transfer shortlist as Alexis Mac Allister emerges as shock target. Liverpool's Alexis Mac Allister has emerged as an unexpected target for Manchester United, but three other midfield stars are also reportedly on the club's radar. Manchester United are eyeing up a shock swoop for Liverpool star Alexis Mac Allister, but the club also supposedly have their sights set on three other midfielder targets. United's midfield has been the topic of transfer speculation for some time. With Casemiro set to depart at this season's end, it seems only a matter of time until they welcome a new face or two in the engine room. As exclusively revealed by the Mirror, United could seek to poach Mac Allister from rivals Liverpool. The Argentine would be considered untouchable by some, but he has failed to replicate the form of previous campaigns this term, and will soon turn 28 on a deal that expires in 2028. However, Mac Allister is far from the only name United have been linked with. Mirror Football evaluates four players who have been most heavily mentioned with a move to Old Trafford in the summer. Alexis Mac Allister signed for the Reds in 2023 and last season was undoubtedly his finest in a Liverpool shirt. He was a cornerstone of Arne Slot's Premier League winning side and was handed PFA Team of the Year honours. But this campaign has painted a different picture. Liverpool have struggled to defend their crown, and Mac Allister has seen his role shift. With the arrival of Florian Wirtz, Mac Allister has dropped to become more of a facilitator, and his form has dipped ever so slightly. But if United were to snap him up, it would be a monumental coup. Mac Allister suits United's current setup to a T, acting as a deep-lying playmaker who is adept at making line-breaking passes to wide players. The caveat is that any player arriving in the summer may not be guided by current interim boss Michael Carrick. United are weighing up a bid for him, and at 27 he may not break the bank, but convincing Liverpool to part with a key asset to a Premier League rival, a bitter one at that, seems an impossible task, irrespective of how well suited Mac Allister would be. Elliot Anderson. Since leaving Newcastle for Nottingham Forest, Elliot Anderson has become one of the top flight's most sought-after midfielders. He is now a semi-regular England starter, and just 23, he has many years at the top ahead of him. The same report suggests Anderson is on United's agenda, and he would bring something quite different to the table than Mac Allister. Where Anderson excels is in recycling possession. He leads the Premier League in total touches and ball recoveries this season, which is something United will need when Casemiro departs. Not to mention his flexibility as a solid box-to-box player from a deep-lying number 6. On top of all of this, he is a homegrown talent. Meeting UEFA's quota should United qualify for Europe is pivotal, and Anderson would aid this. His 100 million plus estimated transfer fee could prove a tough hurdle to overcome though. Adam Wharton. Another homegrown option in the middle of the park for United is Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton. Like Anderson, some standout performances have seen him thrust into the England picture. United have been linked with the 22-year-old for a while, and it is obvious to see why. He would provide the perfect balance in midfield when Casemiro departs, with his brilliant defensive positioning and top-ranked interception rate. Wharton can facilitate from a deep role too, with a great passing accuracy and tendency to try and pull off risky line-breaking passes. His sitting at the base of United's midfield would also allow Kobbie Mainoo to continue operating in more attacking positions. The only slight worry with Wharton may be his physicality, as he lacks the presence of someone like Casemiro, but he is versatile, qualifies as a homegrown player, and is one of the Premier League's exceptional young talents that would undoubtedly suit the current United system. It appears he would cost anywhere between 70 millilitres and 80 millilitres. Carlos Baleba. Brighton's Carlos Baleba was of interest to United last summer, but a deal did not materialise. He has not enjoyed the best of seasons, but is still firmly within United's considerations. Unlike both Anderson and Wharton, Baleba is a much more imposing midfielder, and it could be said that his preference to carry the ball rather than pass short does not align with United's setup at the moment. But Baleba would probably give Mainu the most freedom of any potential midfield partner, even if his tendency to be caught on the ball or to roam goes against Carrick's desire for his holding player to maintain shape. On the back of a lacklustre season by his standards, perhaps a cut-price deal could be negotiated for Baleba, who, despite his lack of tactical fit on paper, would no doubt be a shrewd acquisition. Recent reports suggest 60 million could be enough to secure his services. Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants Man Utd to sign 55 meetings Liverpool midfielder. Top source Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe is keen on raiding Liverpool in the summer of 2026 to bring Alexis Mac Allister to Old Trafford, according to a reliable source. Liverpool and Man Utd are bitter and age-old rivals, and transfers between the two Premier League clubs are rare. The last time a player moved directly between Man Utd and Liverpool was back in 1964, when Phil Chisnell switched from Old Trafford to Anfield, while Michael Owen is the most recent footballer to have turned out for both clubs. The Mirror has now claimed that Man Utd are planning an audacious raid on Liverpool for Alexis Mac Allister. Mac Allister could leave Liverpool at the end of the season, and the Man Utd bosses are said to be keeping tabs on the situation of the Argentina international midfielder. Man Utd will have to secure Champions League football for next season to have any chance of convincing Mac Allister to move to Old Trafford. It also remains to be seen if Liverpool would be willing to sell the 27-year-old they signed for 55 million, 63.2 minutes, 75 minutes, in the summer of 2023 to their bitter rivals. But despite the odds being stacked against United landing Mac Allister, co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to keep all of his options open and would be interested in signing him if he became available, claims the report in the Mirror, which has been written by the publication's chief sports writer, Jeremy Cross. Mac Allister is under contract at Liverpool until the summer of 2028 and has scored 17 goals and given 17 assists in 132 appearances for the Reds so far in his career. Alexis Mac Allister more likely to join Real Madrid than Man Utd. It is hard to see Mac Allister swap Liverpool for Man Utd. Not only would that be a step down for the 2022 World Cup winner with Argentina, but it would also mean damaging his relationship with the Anfield faithful. A move to Real Madrid is more likely than Mac Allister, with the Spanish and European giants keen on a 2026 summer deal for him. The report claimed that a deal for Mac Allister is more feasible for Madrid than a transfer for Enzo Fernandez of Chelsea or Paris Saint-Germain star Vitinha. In September 2025, our transfer insider, Dean Jones, told us that Real Madrid have genuine interest in Mac Allister. Mac Allister has also previously suggested that a move to La Liga would appeal to him. The former Brighton star said, "Yes, why not? It's a country I like a lot and I've visited it several times, and above all, because of the language and the culture, it's very similar to Argentina. I would definitely like to play in Spain one day. But right now, I'm very comfortable at Liverpool and I don't think about what might happen in the future." Latest Man Utd and Liverpool transfer news. Staying on the Man Utd and Liverpool transfer theme, sources have told our transfer insider, Graham Bailey, that the Merseyside outfit are the most advanced Premier League club in the race for a Bundesliga gem. Real Madrid are said to have made contact with Liverpool and have proposed an outrageous swap deal. Our transfer insider, Dean Jones, has reported that Man Utd are planning to raid Middlesbrough in the summer of 2026 for one of their best players. And finally, Man Utd will hold talks imminently with the agents of a midfielder that the Red Devils believe could replace Casemiro in the team.